Welcome everybody. I've got Emma Edwards with me here today. It's from Emma Edwards Fitness. So we met about a couple of years ago, didn't we? As the Love to Live gym opened. So I think that was 2 years ago. I'm not sure about that. The reason, so I'm kind of bringing people on to talk about kind of their area of expertise and give some tips and things like that. So for me, you are like kettlebell extraordinaire. And before I'd met you, I had never lifted a kettlebell in my life. And so I felt really, after I'd started doing that, I felt really strong, and it really kind of made me realize how important that is. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and then I've got some questions, and we can go through those. And if anybody else, if you're watching on Facebook and you've got some questions, pop them in the comments below, and I'll ask Emma at the end. So over to you.
Hi. I've never done that before. Bear with me. Well, I've been teaching, how long now? Maybe about 6 years. I started after I had the kids. So like you say, we met at the gym where I was teaching my classes, but I originally started actually teaching them out where I live in Pontesbury. I teach a couple of nights a week there before obviously COVID, and then that's kind of come to a massive halt. It's all sort of face-to-face classes where we teach kettlebells. So obviously we'll probably get into that a little bit more as we chat a little bit further as to why I teach them and things like that. But that's what my main focus is. I'm a personal trainer as well, so I do see one-to-one clients. I have a good mix of both, really. I like doing the one-to-one, but I love the classes as well because I'm very sociable. I like chatting to people. So that's my main thing. And at the moment, we're all online. So I'm just teaching on the moment.
We've had to make a real shift. So I've got a few questions. I thought if we dive into them, and then we can kind of work through, we might end up chatting a bit more about other things as well. But I wondered if you could let us all know what's the benefit of using weights, and why kettlebells.
Okay, I won't ramble too much. I could go on for ages and ages. But I think everybody should be doing some kind of resistance training in their life, mainly for health reasons, really. That would be my number one reason for doing it. Obviously for bone health, muscular health. It helps prevent sort of bone diseases, osteoporosis, and just keeps you strong and limber and mobile, which we all want to be like that when we're 70, 80. As long as you can tie it in with other things as well, like recovery, things like yoga and stretching. I mean, it is really important more for that side of things. That's probably the main reason why I would do it, is to keep everything nice and strong, and help prevent any injuries or anything else. Especially if you run, you should be doing some kind of resistance training to help build strong joints. And then there's, on the other side of things, if you're looking at aesthetics, then that's how you would create shape. So you hear all the time, like over the years, people have said they want to create that toned look. Well, that's how you're going to get it. So toned is just when you've got more higher muscle mass and less body fat. So it gives you that shape.
Yeah.
So it all depends what your goal is, really. I mean, you should always do it from a health perspective first and foremost, in my opinion. And then aesthetics is just probably a bonus that comes with it. But it just makes you feel really good, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely started to feel really strong, and I loved your approach, because what you seem to kind of come across with is that it's about health first and foremost, and it's not about shedding fat or kind of getting that perfect shape. And I've never found that is kind of how you sell yourself, which is really nice, because there's some instructors out there that are all about that. So what is your approach? How do you?
definitely changed over the years. I mean, I have this conversation with people all the time. I mean, I'm 31 now, and 10 years ago, my approach was completely different. I'd only really just sort of started getting into exercise then, myself, before I trained. But yeah, probably when I first started, especially training as a personal trainer, my approach was probably very, very different. Whereas now, health is right high up my list. That's the main reason why I even exercise myself, is for health reasons. I want to live a very long time and be able to move really, really well into my old age. But yeah, my approach now is, I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but it definitely is balance. I mean, a little bit of everything, a little bit of well, if you don't want to exercise, you don't have to exercise, but a little bit of everything, a little bit of resistance. That's my house phone, sorry. Training, running, whatever you like. I think you've got to find something that you really love. If you don't want to be doing exercise if it's something you really, really hate. Like if I take an example, like HIIT training, for example, I mean, that's not for everybody. And if it's something you really don't enjoy, don't do it. Find something that you really do love, because you will stick to it. And just be kind to yourself. I mean, God, I think we just put so much pressure on ourselves. Well, I don't know what you think nowadays. Like, social media is just a nightmare. I just think there's so much, and you see somebody doing this, somebody running that time. I mean, I've been caught up in it myself before. And I think there's just far too much pressure to think you've got to be doing this type of exercise or that type of exercise. But I think you just got to be kind to yourself and take rest days.
Take rest days, yeah. I think that's really
rambling on.
no, I love it. I have to go silent when you're talking, because if I talk, then it kind of cuts you off. So I'm just kind of doing that. So I'm not. So if you kind of going, oh, is Kat going to take over? I'm just waiting for you. so that's good. That kindness and social media, I think, can have a real impact. I mean, that when people are posting, I mean, I think that's good. If you're in that and you find that that's motivating for you to do, then that's good. But it's important that you don't look at what everyone else is doing and feel like that is what you should be doing as well. And that balance, I really agree with that.
I mean, I've definitely got caught up in that in the past. I see somebody maybe posted a workout and think, oh, maybe I should be working out, or oh, maybe I should be running that far. And I think you just have to really sort of bring yourself back in and just sort of remember why you're doing it and what you're trying to gain from it. And I mean, everybody is going to be completely different. I mean, I just started getting into running, and I like running, but I'm not a great runner. And I can't run that far. I mean, I get bored, but so I try not to get caught up in seeing people that are running, I don't know, half marathons or whatever, and thinking, oh, I wish I could run that far. I mean, I could if I built up and tried, but I mean, if I run 5k that day, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's great for me. It doesn't matter how far, how fast, but that's another story.
Yeah, and everybody's so different, like work life, family life, what people can fit in, what motivates them. It's all so different, isn't it? Let me have a look at my questions again. So so how's lockdown influenced you or impacted you, first as a business, and secondly for your own personal kind of approach to health and well-being?
Well, from a business side of things, it's been brilliant. I mean, I'd never taken the leap before to go online. I very much live in a little bit of a little bubble, my little comfort zone. I've been teaching my classes for so long, and like that's what I knew. So that's what I was happy with, and it kind of forced me to have to go online. I mean, I taught for free for a while at the beginning of lockdown. Then it wasn't getting any better, was it? So I thought, I do really need to try and we could be here for a while. I need to try and turn it into something. So I created my members group online, and it's gone so well because I've been able to reach so many people that probably might not have been able to come to my class because of times, location, kids, all that sort of stuff, work. Because I mean, it's not what's convenient for somebody to get there for 6 o'clock to a class and things like that. So in that respect, it's been really, really good. So all my members from my the actual classes face to face came and joined me, and then more people that I'd not met, and it's been so nice, so nice. And then we've had things like guest people like you doing the yoga as well, which is lovely, because like you say, balance. I'm trying to give a little bit of everything, because like I say, I might be doing a HIIT class. Not everybody likes HIIT, but somebody might love yoga. I want it to be completely inclusive. And then with regards to my training, I like routine. I don't know about you, but I have to have structure. I just can't have a day where it's let's see what happens. It's got to be structured. So I've made sure I've fitted in some exercise. And like I say, if it doesn't always have to be like a hard workout or kettlebell workout. I mean, some days I think, it's a nice day, I'll just go for a walk. And where I live, it's really pretty. Like, we've got loads of sort of countryside. So I've actually been walking a lot. I mean, today's the first time I'd done a proper workout in 2 or 3 days, because I've been walking and I've loved walking. And I like yoga, so I've been doing my yoga as well, because I think that's a nice opportunity to just be quiet. I'm not a very I'd say I'm not very quiet. I'm always doing something. I don't very often sit down, and I mean, I think it's been really important that I've sat down and switched off. And yeah, yoga's been great. And I don't know what you think, but I like doing yin yoga, just because, oh God, I could fall asleep doing it. I find that really relaxes me, and just, I don't know, well, you know what I'm on about. Sometimes you honestly do just go to another place. I know it sounds a bit airy fairy, but you do, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. You can certainly just take yourself kind of away into some kind of calm place. I don't do yin yoga very often, I have to say, but because I love a good vinyasa class.
Yeah.
But I've got Sarah Little, who's coming on in a couple of weeks, and she's a yin teacher. And it's really good if you're doing like a lot of training, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like lots of training, weights, and quite a lot of athletic things to really then stretch out your muscles.
That's the reason I said yin yoga, and I pick yin yoga, because I find that holding those positions, especially for legs, I'd always try and find like a lower body one, was so beneficial, and it really complemented everything else that I was doing. So hence why I went for yin yoga. Sometimes I try and do one of your yogas and my legs are so tired and I'm shaking. I was like,
I know, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, come on, we need to get strong and stable in that pelvis. And then everyone's like, it's too much for my glutes. So for anybody who like me, I mean, I'm 41, so I didn't pick up a weight until I was 40, and who has never lifted a weight and is maybe interested in starting. What are your tips? So what are your tips for women particularly who might want to try kettlebells at home in this lockdown?
Well, there is never a good or bad time to start. I mean, you can start doing any type of resistance training at any age, because it's only going to benefit you. I mean, it's never too late, if that makes sense. I would say start small. So don't think you need to go out and buy big weight. You don't even have to buy anything. You can do body weight. You don't need to go out and buy all this kit. Like, I don't know, some people have all sorts, but that's, I suppose, the beauty of a kettlebell, because it's one piece of kit. Obviously you can maybe build your weights up over time, but as you progress, but it's easy to store. You can pop it away behind the sofa, but it's versatile, so you can use it for absolutely everything: upper, lower, core, you name it. And my tip would be kettlebell. I think you've got to make sure you nail the technique. I mean, that's what I kind of stress in my classes. You don't want anybody to come back to you and say they've got an injury. So you need to make sure you're doing it properly. So I'd definitely say find a group, if you were, even if you're not part of a members group or like Facebook or like mine or anything like that, I mean, YouTube will be your best friend. There's so many videos on there, like always start and look for a beginner video, but start small and then build it up. And if you've been to one of my classes before, like you, Kat, I remember you started with a 4 kilogram. She's swinging an 8 kilogram around. That's visual progress. I mean, you started with a 4, you just about managed it. You probably killed you the next day, probably. But then, I don't know, a year later, you're absolutely bossing an 8 kilogram with perfect technique. I mean, what more do you want? That's a great way, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, to see that, I was yeah, I felt really inspired and motivated then to do more. I have to say, I've not been very good at home. You know, and I think say that again.
I'll let you off.
But I am going to see if I can kind of at least factor in one day. I think that's it. Sometimes I think, oh, maybe I've got to do more than that, and then I end up being overwhelmed by kind of what I'm trying to put in, when actually I'm just going to find a morning somewhere and make that part of it, and then build on it from there.
One morning a week is better than nothing. I mean, and even if you've got 15 minutes, you can do something in 15 minutes. Loads of little work. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be fussy. As much as you can in sort of 15 minutes, and then you're done. Everyone can find 15 minutes in their day.
Yes, we can. But that approach to health, because there's a lot of, because you touched on osteoporosis, and is there any other benefits for women particularly and as well for anybody who's not familiar with the term resistance training? What does that mean? Is it
So resistance training is where you're sort of pushing against, it's a force. So you can use anything to resistance train. I mean, you can even sort of do a slight variation of resistance training with body weights. Obviously, however many kilograms you may be, you're doing a squat. When we say body weight, you're still pushing against resistance. So when you push up, you're pushing against a force. So which in turn is going to make your muscles stronger, which is what you want. So then that sort of leads back into protecting against bone health as well, and things like that.
Yeah, and is it right, digging into my memory here, but by loading up force on the bones, it helps that layer of it like increases more layer of bone density, so that then protects against osteoporosis.
You've got it right. I'm going back to my notes. Percentages right, because I couldn't remember the exact percentages. So after the age of 30, you can lose between 3 to 5%. Oh no, I've gone back onto muscle mass. Going back onto muscle mass, you can lose 3 to 5% of muscle mass every decade. So you've got to have those strong surrounding muscles to obviously protect your joints. So they both work in turn. So there is no end of benefits to resistance training, and it's definitely something that everybody should try and implement into their daily lives, however it works for them, really.
Yeah, and even I guess even just kind of against your kitchen counter, a little press and things like that, and a squat and a press.
Yeah, definitely. Push-ups, squats, bridges, you name it. Tell you what, you can have a very good workout just body weight if you're doing it properly.
Yeah, I know. I've been to one of yours. I was like, no, but you feel good after, don't you? I'm just going to see if we have any comments and questions. Oh, you can turn that volume down. Oh, it's just saying that we're live. So if anybody does have any questions for Emma, then pop them below.
We could always.
Oh, go on. I'm speaking over you again, Emma. What did you say then?
I said we can always type in the comments after if anybody is watching this a little bit later.
Yeah, definitely. But tell people where they can find you if they're intrigued. What's your page? And I know you've got a members group. Do you have a normal group as well?
No, I'm not very good at technology. I can't do more than one thing at once, Kat. So if I forget to post in one, and then I was getting too confused. So I just had to go down the route of one. I run a members group on Facebook. I mean, we've been going since March now, so that's pretty good going. It's a long time. And each week we have a timetable, and I teach live classes and also pre-recorded classes, but everything is saved within the group. And I try to have a really good mix. I mean, my sort of speciality, you could say, is teaching kettlebells, but that's not to say that I don't love all kinds of other sort of type of exercise. So we try and get a really good balance. We've got the kettles in there, we've got body weight, we've got yoga with you sometimes, Kat. I try and make sure we get stretching in there, core workouts, glute workouts, you name it. I'm always trying to think up different approaches and different workouts and how we can make it interesting, fun, but for everybody. That's what I try and get across with my classes. I mean, you could be an absolute beginner, like you never even have picked up a weight or even never even have exercised, to somebody that is well advanced in their training. I try and make my classes, I talk a lot in my classes, I can talk a lot, but I'm trying to get so much information across with all of the options, so it's inclusive for absolutely everybody. Even if you've got injuries and things like that, we discuss all that beforehand before you join the group. So I try and give everybody a little bit of something. So hopefully you'd find something in there. So that's Emma Edwards Fitness on Facebook. That's the name of my Facebook page as well. So you can search me, and if it is something you're interested in, come and give it a try. If you just want to try for a week, see how you get on. You never know.
Brilliant. Oh, thanks so much for coming on. I'll just check and see if there are any other questions. But I don't think there are. But I think we've covered quite a lot. And and thank you for coming on. I still have a little giggle from when we joined earlier.
I might repost it. Might kill me. God, Carol was funny.
So I made sure that me and Emma connected before I went live in Facebook, and she had a virtual background on, which was a picture of her husband, and it just really cracks us both up. It was so funny. So that's brightened my morning up as well.
Beat cred, I think, if I shared it. So I don't know if I can.
Oh, fantastic. Right then, well, I will finish us off, but thank you ever so much for joining me.
It's been nice to have a chat. Nice to see you.
Yeah, definitely. So nice to see you. And I'll hopefully see you soon, but if not, I'll see you in your group.
Thanks, Kat.
Oh, no problem. See you later. Bye.